Until We Meet Again, Chapter 8 is here. Written by Yatin. Dive in and feel it unfold.
Chapter 8. Until We Meet Again. The night air wrapped around me like a cold shawl. As I sat on the wooden porch steps, staring at the endless scatter of stars above cedar pines, my journal lay closed beside me for once. I wasn't scribbling, I wasn't overthinking. I was just here. The notification still glowed faintly on my phone screen. I had read the email at least 10 times since afternoon, and yet each time it felt new. Like a dream I wasn't sure belonged to me. I had been selected for a top managerial role in one of the leading companies in the country. I let out a breath that felt heavy and light at the same time. A month ago, I wouldn't have believed it. A month ago, I wasn't even sure I would make past the wreckage of my life. And now, life was handing me a second chance. I didn't hear him approach, but I felt the subtle shift in the air when Vihan stepped onto the porch. He didn't say anything, just sat a few steps away, his presence steady and quiet like always. The warm scent of his coffee lingered faintly on his clothes. For a while, neither of us spoke. I traced the edge of my phone, debating whether to tell him. It felt strange how easily I had shared my pain with him, and yet this joy felt so vulnerable to say out loud. Finally, I blurted it out, my voice trembling more than I wanted it to. I got selected. He turned slightly, his eyes calm in the moonlight. Selected? I nodded. For a top managerial role, one of the leading companies. The interview I gave before coming here, I had almost forgotten about it. His lips curved into the faintest smile, the kind that didn't reach his eyes, but somehow still warmed me. Congratulations, he said softly. Then, after a pause, I'm not surprised, That caught me off guard. You're not? No. He looked up at the sky as if the stars might echo his words. You were always capable. You just needed to see it for yourself. Something tightened in my chest. I had heard plenty of congratulations in my life, most of them loud, some even theatrical, but this quite unwavering belief from someone who owed me nothing, it felt different. Thank you, I whispered, unsure whether I was thanking him for his words, his silence, or his steady presence in the chaos of my life. We didn't speak after that. We just sat there, two people sharing a patch of night sky, each lost in their own thoughts, yet strangely not alone. The cafe smelled faintly of cinnamon and tea leaves, the warm glow of lamps casting along shadows on the wooden floor. Outside, the hills slept under a blanket of stars. I stirred my tea absent-mindedly, watching tiny ripples dance across the surface. Vihan sat across from me, his long fingers curled around his own mug. He didn't push me to talk, and I didn't rush to fill the silence. It felt safe, like we had all the time in the world, even though tomorrow morning would take me away from here. I'm scared, I whispered, surprising myself, scared of going back, of losing whatever this version of me is. You won't, he said quietly. You fought too hard to find her. Trust yourself a little more. I smiled faintly, my chest tightening in a way that was both painful and comforting. I wish it were that easy. It never is. But easy isn't what makes it worth it. Our eyes met then, and for a moment, the air felt thicker, warmer, like something unspoken hung between us. Do you regret staying here? I asked, needing to know. His gaze drifted toward the window, where the faint outline of the hills merged with the night. No, he said softly. I stayed because this place lets me breathe. For me, peace was more important than proving something to the world. His words made something deep inside me ache. Our worlds were so different, yet his calm steadiness had anchored me when I needed it most. I don't know if I'm ready to say goodbye, I murmured, lowering my gaze. Then don't, he replied gently. We don't have to call it goodbye. Call it until next time. Without thinking, I slid my chair closer and rested my head on his shoulder. He stilled, then let out a slow breath, his body relaxing beside mine. Promise me, I whispered. Promise you'll stay in touch. His voice was a low hum. I promise. For a long while, we sat there like that, two people from different worlds bound by quiet understanding. No more words needed. When I finally rose to leave, there was no sadness, only a soft warmth that lingered like an ember in my chest. Good night, Vihan, I said, my voice steadier than I felt. Good night, Arohi. Morning came too quickly. The sunlight spilled through the curtains in soft golden streaks, painting everything in a warmth that felt both comforting and heavy. I zipped up my bag, glancing one last time around the room that had been my cocoon these past 7 days. The bed, the little window with its view of pine trees, the journal resting on the side table, it all felt like pieces of a world I wasn't quite ready to leave. But I had to. As I stepped out with my luggage, the crisp mountain air filled my lungs, and for the first time in weeks, it didn't hurt to breathe. The cab was waiting outside. I could hear the engine humming faintly, a reminder that time was moving forward whether I was ready or not. Vihan stood by the reception counter, his usual calm presence grounding me in a moment that felt too fragile to break with words. I walked up to him, handing over the keys and settling my will. Thank you, I said softly, for everything. This place, these days, they've been life-changing. He gave a small nod, his eyes holding mine for a second longer than necessary. You did that for yourself, Arohi. Setup-Eyes just gave you space to remember who you were. I bit back a lump in my throat. Still, I'm grateful. As he turned to leave, he held out a small folded paper. Open this when you're on your way, he said, his voice as steady as always, though I thought I saw something flickering in his eyes. I hesitated, then took it, tucking it carefully into my journal. Safe travels, he added, a faint smile playing on his lips. Until we meet again, I whispered. And then I was walking away, my footsteps echoing softly on the wooden planks. The cab door shut with a gentle click, and as we pulled away, I'd had one last glance back. Vihan was still there, standing on the porch, hands in his pockets, watching, not with sadness, not with longing, just quiet acceptance, like he understood the flow of people. I opened the folded paper in my lap as the hills began to blur past the window. Come back when you're ready to stay. Vihan. A breath hitched in my throat, but this time it wasn't from pain. It was from something softer, hopeful. I smiled, really smiled, and opened my journal for the final entry. I came here lost, carrying pieces of a life that no longer fit me. I leave whole, not because someone fixed me, but because I remembered how to hold my own hand. Surely I'll come back here to meet him again, and when I do, it won't be as the girl who ran. It will be as the woman who stayed.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel.